Hey guys, and welcome to the On the Mission podcast, where we help you build a solid plan to show up for your community without actually stressing out. My name is Melody. Come in and join the conversation with me. Hey everyone, and welcome to the On the Mission podcast. We got a very interesting episode for you today. So let's grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your favorite drink. I want to talk to you today about how to build relationship with your funders. Now, I want you to think back for a minute and remember the first time you are preparing your first grant proposal to be submitted. Did you have all your ducks in a row? Or did you make some mistakes along the way? If your answer is yes to everything, congratulations, you're a part of the normal crew. I want to talk to you today about how to build relationship with funders and decision makers who have the power to even fund the very programs that you're looking to start within your communities. This is just my observation. I've noticed lately that when nonprofits are presenting themselves before funders, they always come out needy. And I noticed that same negative attitude, it also across to even the general public as well. So, for example, I was going to the grocery store maybe a few years ago, and I met a breast cancer foundation that was setting up shop right in front of the grocery store entrance. And where I'm from, if you are going to be setting up shop, two things are happening. You're either going to sell me something, you're either selling me something, or you're asking me for money, and neither one of them is my forte. But however, something in me felt pulled to go and ask them a couple of questions. So after putting away my grocery in the car, I went over and asked them what was their purpose being out here. And by the way, this happened during the pandemic, so a lot of people has masks on and they did not. Hopefully you can figure out the situation yourselves. But anyway, the woman stood up and introduced herself as the executive director of that breast cancer foundation. She lost a lot of the funding that she had for her nonprofit due to the chaos and the changing landscape within the nonprofit sector, and she had to resort to doing what she's doing right now. And honestly, it broke my heart, and I went and did some research about it, and I noticed that a lot of nonprofits, and you can feel free correct me if I'm wrong, but I noticed that some people, they only give the nonprofit one time just to either feel good about themselves or they feel sorry for them, and neither one of them is a good thing, because as far as I'm concerned, we can all agree, I believe, and this is just my personal belief, nonprofit organizations should be treated as businesses and not just as charity cases. I will say it again. Nonprofit organizations should be treated as businesses and not just as charity cases. Although the structure of the organization is far different from a Fortune 500 company and many other small businesses, it should be treated as such because many of the funds that they bring into the nonprofit is going straight to the community and improving their operations as time goes on. So I want to talk to you about why it's so important for you to build relationship with funders and decision makers who can help you make those dreams and make those realities possible. One thing I will tell you about is that as a new nonprofit, one of the things you must understand that it is important to know the current priorities of the foundations that you're looking to seek grant opportunities from. There are times, and this has happened on several occasions, that the current opportunities that may be in line with your mission statement may change by the next fiscal year. This has happened multiple times, and priorities will change over time for various reasons. There are times that the funder will fund your program for 1 year and decide not to fund it because they decided to shift their priorities to maybe shift their priorities for something a little bit more, something new and different for they're shifting their direction of where the foundation is going. Another reason is that if you're a brand new nonprofit, most of them wants to take that time to get to know you within the next 3 years. Foundations and funders, are looking at the of course looking at your correlation, see, okay, how are you raising money for your programs, how are you raising money for your cause, are you looking at other fund, are you looking at different grant opportunities, have you also done some fundraising events to raise the money that you need to fund your operation and programs for the fiscal year. Because I will tell you from it, I'll tell, and I'm going to tell you personally, funders are not looking to be their one, to become your one and only benefactor. They're not looking to pay for all of your expenses, because one, they don't want to foot the bill for everything. Most funders would like to get to not only get to know you as a leader within your organization, but they also want to get to know the foundation's mission and statement and how it impacts the community. And that will determine on whether or not they will either partially or fully fund your programs for the fiscal year. Why is it vital to build a relationship with the nonprofits? You can get to know their foundation mission and vision and see whether they fully align with your mission statement. Because here's the thing, their interest has to match up to your mission statement. Otherwise, it'll be a waste of time for both parties. And it's also a great way to get feedback on various your previous application that was initially denied for numbers of reasons. And if you go, and this is just a free tip, if you had an application that was recently denied, call the funder and ask them why, and ask them specific question on why your application was denied. They are more than happy to tell you what was wrong with the application. And not only that, they will also give you tips on how you can improve your application for the next funding cycle. I'm going to share with you 3 ways you can build a relationship with your funders. Number 1, and this is probably the simplest act you can do your research. I kid you not. If you do your research and you show up with your application, and you look over their grant, look over the guidelines on how to write out your proposals, they will take you seriously. One thing you must understand before even writing out your proposal, you must understand their mission statement. What is the overall purpose the funder wants to achieve by granting you money? They don't give their money to just anybody. They want to see that their investment into your organization is going to make a difference within the communities that they're looking to serve. And that's a win-win, because you yourself, as the executive director and as a development associate, you want to make a difference in the community by any means possible. And financially, that running a program, it is not cheap. Everything everything has a price. You want to assure to the funders that their investment is put to good use. The best way you can do that is to utilize their social media accounts to stay up to date to their current events. Go and find out what projects are they taking on, who has been previously funded by that organization, and does your nonprofit matches the funder's interests. If when you find out that information, it will determine how you can move forward as you begin your process of creating your first grant proposal to be submitted to the foundation. Number 2, compliment their work. It goes to say that one compliment can really make a difference. Coming from the business world, I would strongly suggest that you actually share their content on social media and compliment the work, and just say, hey, I noticed that you're working on this particular campaign, and I really share what you love about the campaign and how it resonates with the mission of your organization. And that's a great conversation starter on where you can align with that's also a great conversation starter just to build a great a working relationship with different funders and opportunities, because once they can see that you're actually genuine and you're interested in their work, they'll also take interest in the work that you're doing. They'll be more than open to actually partner with you in many programs that you're looking to start within your community. One of the things I would say is ask for different opportunities for collaborations. I'll give you an example. I was working with a client cleaning up their content on social media. But one of the things I did not know is that the CEO actually owns his own foundation that is geared towards serving the local community, the here in La Plata, Maryland. He started a golf tournament to raise money for local food banks, schools, and other local nonprofits that are actually working here in his town. I was not able to attend that event that day, but I remember the next day that I showed up to the office. They made over $300,000 in cash revenue to give to various charities, local programs, and high schools to further their programs for the next fiscal year. And it is possible for you too. So that's why I say to you, go and find out the different opportunities for collaborations or partnerships. Now, we're going to go into the last one. And this one is a pet peeve of mine, but this is also what seals your relationship, because here's the thing: building a relationship takes some time, and we all know this from our personal experiences. The biggest tip I will give to you to build relationship with funders as a new nonprofit: be honest and sincere. Most funders want to see you succeed. They really do care. They're not out to get you and just to tear up all the hard work you did on your application. I feel like I'm talking to someone specifically, and I don't know why, but I feel like honestly you may feel frustrated because you've gotten denied multiple times over the years for various reasons because of your funding application. I want to encourage you that they're not out to get you. They want to see you succeed. So that goes back to my last tip. I want you to go back to the funder and ask them why your application was denied. So back to today's programming. Most funders actually want to see you succeed. If you ask them why your grant application was rejected, they'll be more than happy to give you feedback and tips to improve your application next fiscal year. I want you to keep this in mind. Your character speaks louder than your application. When you get on the phone, they want to get to know you and your organization. Funders can only see what is on your application, and that's basically their first impression of you and your organization. If you give them a negative impression that you don't care about the time they're putting into even reviewing your application, and you're not doing the research on finding out what are their current priorities and interests, they're not going to give you the time of day. So I would say give them the opportunity to know you, not only as a person, but also get to know you as the organization. Invite them to your facility or community events that you're having within the year. And of course, that's after you've submitted your applications. They want to see what within their community. They want to get involved and serve within your community on a financial level. But they can't do that if they can't see what you're talking about. They can only go off of what you have written down in your applications. And I do want to iterate this very important point. If you are dishonest in your applications, I promise you they will not allow you to reapply again. They take the time and the effort to look over every application, and based upon the criteria they have already set to give away funding to well-deserving nonprofits who are actually going to take the funding and do the work that they initially proposed to do. So be honest when you're writing out your application. There is no reason for you to lie for any type of reason. It will not only destroy your credibility, but it will destroy your reputation as a leader within your community. So that's all I have for you today. My company, Harvest Grant and Company, we are opening up slots only for existing, but also for new nonprofits who are looking to pursue grant opportunities in the near future. If you click at the description box below, you can book your discovery call, and we will definitely take it from there. Thank you for listening to today's episode of the On the Mission podcast, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Take care.